Good day, everyone. Welcome to ED210 Comparative Education. I am Rhea B. Diadula, and I will be discussing about the education system of Japan and the Philippines. Before we proceed to the discussion of the education system of Japan and the Philippines, let's have first a short talk on the history of education of each respective country. Now let's have the history of the education of Japan. Private educational institutions already existed during the feudal period, such as terakoya, private temple schools, special schools specialized for samurai. Many of the points of the Japanese educational system were derived from the European continental systems, notably the German system. Now, let's have the history of education of the Philippines. During the pre-Spaniards era, or before the Spaniards colonized our country, the education of the Philippines is unstructured, informal, and devoid of methods, making further emphasis on vocational education and less in academic performance. While during the Spaniards era, or when the Spaniards colonized our country, this event brought a change to the unstructured education system with a transition from vocation-oriented education to religion-oriented education. During the colonization of the Americans, the education system was modified under the Scorman Commission and used English as the medium of instruction. In World War II, emphasis on love for work was made by the Japanese occupants in the Philippines. This implies that the education of the Philippines changed from time to time as colonizers changed, as well as changes in the emphasis of education. Now let's proceed to the ideology of education of Japan and the Philippines. Education is the necessity of building a person's character through developing one's personality, uniquely improving ability, independency, and pursuing a happy life. At the same time, it also embarks on a mission to nurture the citizens who form the country and the society. Japan treats education as very important, which is the reason why the country has the highest literacy rates in the world. While Filipinos have a deep point of view of education, in which it treated as the main street of further social and economic mobility. This was materialized from the Americans due to their colonial rule, where the ideal of democratic society in which individuals could get ahead through good educational attainment. It can be inferred that Japan and the Philippines share the same point of view in which education is the road to further mobility of a country. Now, let's have the comparison of the curriculum of Japan and the Philippines. The Japanese educational system is divided into 5 basic levels. Kindergarten, that will last for a year. Elementary school for 6 years. Lower secondary school for 3 years. Upper secondary school for another 3 years. And university, that will usually last for 4 years. In Japan, education is free and compulsory for children 6 to 15 years. Classes are large and teaching methods is usually lecture. Japanese students spend 243 days in a year in school. The school calendar is year-round with some breaks between sessions. Here is the elementary curriculum of Japan. Social studies begins in the 3rd grade. Life studies is from grades 1 and 2 and change into science from grade 3 onwards. Home economics classes begin on the 5th grade and is integrated into technology classes on middle school. Integrated studies begins on the 3rd grade, which mandates teachers to conduct activities to spur creativity with the goal of cultivating the capabilities of students in living. Clubs are introduced on the 4th grade. We have here the junior and middle school curriculum of Japan. Junior high school curriculum adds electives, subjects that are optional to students. However, in electives, there are more specific courses from the required subjects. Integrated studies from elementary continues to this level. In the higher education in Japan, junior colleges by women who want to pursue courses focuses on home economics, nursing, teaching, humanities, and social science. There are various universities that students can attend in Japan. Private institutions make up 80% of university enrollments, although the public schools have the most prestige. To get into universities where there are more than 500, the student must take 2 exams. The first one is a national achievement test, and the second one is given by university itself. The competition is quite fierce, and some students who fail the test will take another year to study and prepare to take the test again. These students are called runin, which meant samurai. Japanese education relies upon examinations to determine which schools the student will go to the next, resulting in a push by students and parents for their children to study very hard for the test so that he or she can get into the best schools. The entire educational system seems to be built on a principle that if you do well in exams, you will get into good schools or universities and automatically into a good lifetime job. Now let's have the curriculum of the Philippines. The basic education curriculum program in the Philippines is K-12. The K-12 basic education in the Philippines consists of the following. Kindergarten. Kindergarten became mandatory in school year 2012 to 2013. The teaching in kindergarten is built around 6 domains. 6 years of elementary, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. From grade 1 to 10, core academic subjects are taught using the spiral progression approach. The subjects from grades 1 to 10 are the languages, which consist of the mother tongue, Filipino, English. We have here math, science, social studies, TLE, and MAPE. Mother tongue is used as the medium of instruction from kinder to grade 3 and is taught as a subject only in grades 1, 2, and 3. Science as a subject is taught only beginning in grade 3. TLE is taught starting grade 4 until grade 10. In grades 11 to 12, the subjects are languages, which consist of Filipino and English, math, science, social studies, combined with TLE career pathways. The focus on grade 11 and 12 is on the specialization subjects that equip the learner for the career path of his or her choice. These career paths come in 3 tracks: academic, tech-voc, and sports and arts. Those college-bound choose the academic specialization. Those who wish to continue the TLE specialization they had in grade 9 and grade 10 may choose the tech-voc track. Another track can be sports and arts. Elementary education is concerned with the learner's mastery of basic skills and competencies. Secondary education is geared towards the consolidation of these knowledge and skills mastered at the elementary level and is focused on equipping the learner with employable gainful skills or preparing him or her for the middle level skills development or higher education. So we have here the Philippine Basic Education Ladder. So we have here level of schooling, age, and the description. So for kindergarten, the age appropriate is 5 years old. So this is the pre-elementary. For grades 1, the age appropriate is 6, grade 2, 7, grade 3, 8, grade 4, 9, grade 5, we have 10, and grade 6 is 11 years old. So elementary schooling or elementary school will last for 6 years. Now let's have grade 7. The age appropriate is 12, grade 8, 13, grade 9, 14, grade 10 is 15. So this is the junior high school that will last for 4 years. Now let's have grade 11, 16 years old, and grade 12, 17 years old. So this is the senior high school that will only last for 2 years. Students who graduate in high school consisting of 4 years may proceed to colleges, universities, or technical vocational institutions, which are classified as higher education institutions. Higher education institutions are supervised by a government agency called the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED. Majority of the higher education institutions in the country require entrance examination for admission to college degree programs. Most college degree programs are 4 years for baccalaureate degrees. Other highly specialized fields like medicine and law take around 8 years to complete. For technical vocation education or post-secondary education, there are 2-year courses. Most of the college degree programs require passing a licensure examination for the specific profession, like nursing, dentistry, medical technology, medicine, engineering, and teaching. The examination are given by the Professional Regulation Commission or the PRC, while for law, the examination is given by the Supreme Court. After completing the bachelor's or baccalaureate degrees, courses in the master's program of 2 years and doctoral program for 3 years are offered by the authorized colleges and universities. Most of these institutions have admission requirements for the specific degrees. So those are the comparison of the education system of Japan and the Philippines. Now let's have the summary of our lesson. From the different educational systems presented, we can say that basic education is compulsory in both Japan and the Philippines. The number of years in every level, primary or secondary, for some countries varies. Kindergarten or preschool now made compulsory by the virtue of Republic Act 1015-7. For every exit level, grade 6, grade 10, and grade 12, in the educational structure in basic education, a student is certified through a diploma or a certificate of completion. The certificate of diploma is one of the requirements for higher or tertiary education, which is available in almost all countries. With the implementation of the K-12 in the Philippines, the number of years in basic education is now equal to those of other countries in the world. For advanced higher education, master's degrees and doctorate degrees are offered in many colleges and universities of the country. You can also get enrolled for your own graduate degrees in these colleges and universities here or abroad. That would be all for my comparative report on the education system of Japan and the Philippines. Hope you learned something and thank you for listening.